Hello and welcome to Taking You to School with Dr. Tom Prichard. I'm host, JP John Posman, the two man power trip. Of course, joining me, the star of the show, the former WWE World Tag Team Champion, one of the greatest trainers ever in the history of the business, the Doctor of Desire himself, Dr. Tom Prichard. How you doing today, sir?
John, I'm doing great today. I still can't understand why it's so dark in here. I've got floodlights, I've got spotlights, everything, and it's still dark. So,
I
but
don't
other than
know.
that, I'm doing great, man.
Maybe that's just the way you like the room. You like the room
It's
maybe a
exactly the
little
way I
dark.
like the room.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What
So there.
what is going on in the world of the JPWA?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. We're working hard. These guys are in their third week, and everybody's coming along great.
Do you still have guys from UK and from other countries?
I have a guy from Canada, a guy from California. Trying to think where everybody else is, but yeah, we had a guy from Brazil last year, in the last class of last year, 2024. So yeah, we saw people come from all over.
It's amazing. That's a great reputation of Dr. Tom and his trainings. That you got people coming in from all other countries.
Well, yeah, where else are we gonna go?
Good point. I don't know.
There you go,
Hello, Jason.
Jason.
Hello, Maddie R. Good evening, Maddie R.
They're not doing with their avatars tonight.
I see him smoking there. I see that.
Oh, I don't see it.
Maddie, really?
Yeah,
I wonder if that's too small. I could see it on my end. He's smoking his
there we
ciggy
go.
bar.
Now we got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And then Jason had his
Now we have it.
Saturn.
What'd you
Yeah.
do before where we didn't have it?
I don't know. I might have done something differently this time. I don't know. I thought I just clicked on it. There we go.
Yeah.
Dwayne Anglo. Dr. Tom, what are your thoughts on Ricky Stark's new ring name, Ricky Saints? He was named after the New Orleans Saints because he's from New Orleans.
Well, I hope it works for him, and I hope he has a great career in WWE.
Do you like that name?
I don't not like that name. It's not one I'd pick, but it's a little catchy. Yeah, Ricky
I just
Saint.
think I just think it's funny that people automatically like, I hate this name. It's terrible. They go crazy about it. And they did the same exact thing for Gunther. Now, no one mentions that being a bad name.
Right.
They feel like they go too crazy. Let's let it play out a little bit.
Well, he had a name Walter before.
Yeah.
So
Walter, yes.
yeah. So what was wrong with Gunther?
I don't know. Remember Keith Lee and people were ripping it and saying it's such a terrible name. And
Oh, you can't please everybody, so you got to please yourself.
Ricky Saints. It's going to take some getting used to, I think, so that name, Ricky Saints.
Yeah. It's kind of like Daniel Bryanson.
Hey, Mitch Miller, the modern day cowboy himself. Good evening.
You knew Mitch Miller.
From Scorch. Hello. Triple H was sitting behind Linda McMahon in her Senate confirmation hearing to become the Secretary of Education. Did you see that?
I did not.
Oh, really? So she's, doing the confirmation hearing. Triple H is directly behind her. Stephanie and Shane is all the way on the other side as well, one seat away from Triple H. So they're all behind her. But there's a scene with Triple H, and there's so many people that notice this online. Triple H takes a sip of water, and he like pauses for a second, like he's almost thinking to himself, like he's gonna spit it out or whatever. And he like looks up, and then he just drinks the water. I was like, wow, he was thinking about spitting out the water at the hearing.
Well, you only have one chance sometimes, and I'm glad he didn't.
I'm surprised you didn't see Linda. I was surprised you weren't watching that hearing.
I'm sorry, John. I've had some things I've had to take care of, like PT and couldn't make class and things like that. I just haven't had a whole lot of time to myself. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting hearing, but I think Triple H stole the show with that, with him literally thinking to himself, like,
Hmm.
do I beat Triple H here? Do I spit out this water? And he's like, oh, wait, I'm second. I'm at this Senate confirmation here. I can't do that.
Yeah, he could do it. He could get away with it.
Craig
Just didn't want to.
Seaback. Hello from British Columbia. Do you think the USA making Canada a state would be good angle for wrestling? Would that be a good angle?
Wow. I don't know how. I don't know why. Who are Canadian? Oh, we have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Who
Hmm.
else? Who else are our Canadian friends besides Natty and
Trish, Natty.
Trish?
Trying to think who else. I don't think Tiffany Stratton. I don't think she's
So
Canadian.
they need somebody to
Some more
help.
Canadians.
Yeah, more Canadians.
Are you for or against them being the 51st state?
I know this may sound like a very callous statement, but I could care less.
Oh man, damn! I think that just let them be, let them do their own thing. But
Yeah,
I thought that was funny that Trump said that hey, you want to be the 51st state? I think kind of tongue in cheek there. I think he was joking, but I was
I
like, wow,
think
that would
so.
be interesting. That would be an
Yeah,
interesting thing. Although this isn't, 1997 where you have Brad and Owen and all these awesome the Hart Foundation, all these guys that could be a part of this angle. It's
right.
a little lacking if they're going to do it.
Yeah, a little wacky, very wacky.
Barbara, hello, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Sorry I'm late.
Well, I hope you're not late next week, Barbara.
Yep, come on, Barbara. Magazine Retriever, good evening. The lady in Akron, Ohio, who is suing Hulk Hogan claims that the can of beer was tossed from 50 feet away. Is that true? The can busted her head and she got stitches. Remember that we were talking about that last week? How she's
Yeah.
suing because she got hit in the head with a beer can?
Hmm. You asked me if that was true, like I would know. Or you
Do
asked
you
me a
think,
magazine retriever.
but do you think
I
that's a
don't
little crazy that she's suing for that?
know. If she got hit from 50 feet away and they were careless with it, then she should get something, I think.
Got to be aware of your surroundings at one of those things. You know what I mean? You always got to be ready for the beer to be tossed.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
That had to hurt though, especially a full can of beer from that far away. Oof, that might have done some damage.
Yeah, well done, Werner.
I
Maybe.
saw um, the Philadelphia Eagles general manager Howie Roseman. He got nailed in the head. Looked like he got cut open something at the parade at the Eagles Super Bowl parade.
Oh, wow. I'll see
Of
if
all
anybody.
people to hit too, like basically the key to the team, the general manager, the guy to put it all together. What the hell are you throwing stuff at him for?
Well, you have to ask your Eagles fans up there. You're closer to them than I am. Hmm.
Don't like him though. No, not a fan. He's awesome. He's a great general manager.
Hmm.
But not a fan of the Eagles.
No.
Not a fan at all.
Hmm.
Dell says Stone Cold always tossed beer cans underhanded, so nobody got injured. That is a good point. That is true.
Well, I'm sure somebody got hurt, or at least somebody's feelings got hurt with Austin when he didn't throw you a beer, or when he threw beer too hard, too. I'm sure somebody got hurt.
You remember Mark Eaton, the timekeeper?
Of course.
When he would throw the beer, though, I feel like he put a little bit of oomph behind it when he was throwing the beers to Steve.
Well, you had to make sure you got there.
Are you a fan of Mark Eaton or no?
Of course I am.
No.
How can you
Have you
not be a fan of Mark Eaton? Not be a fan of Mark Eaton.
have you heard from him in a while?
Well, no, it's not like we send each other Christmas cards or talk on the phone every day, but I liked Mark when I was there. Nice
All
guy.
right. Well, look at this. We were talking about SNL before we got on. It says we'd love to see Dr. Tom host SNL. I think it would be a great episode. Would you ever host Saturday Night Live?
Well, sure, I'd host that Saturday Night Live. I'd host it the best way I possibly could. But yeah, I saw the SNL special. I thought it was great.
You would recommend it. I haven't seen it, so you would recommend it.
Well, yeah, but I'd recommend you something in a Thai restaurant that I'm sure you wouldn't like. And don't ask me what that is right now, but somebody just gave me a Thai recipe the other day, and I'm sure I wouldn't order that in a restaurant either. So,
Um, there is a good Thai dish. I forget what it's called. It's kind of like a noodle thing. There's some tofu and there's some random stuff in it. I forget what it's called, but there's a good Thai meal for sure. You did love Waffle House. I wasn't thinking Waffle House was that good. I thought maybe a little overrated, but you love Waffle House. I know that.
Well, how do you know that?
We went to Waffle House. Remember when I was down there a few
Did
years ago?
I
Down in
did I rave? Did I rave forever about it?
No,
Maybe I did.
you did not. You didn't.
Well, there you
Well,
go.
kind of. I saw somebody online put it was overrated, and everyone got mad like at the person. They were like ready to kill the
Well,
guy.
I think it's kind of like uh, what was the name of the place in Newark? The place for everybody to go eat. It was
Oh,
a go-go joint.
oh,
Um,
the Bada Bing, if you
oh,
will.
what is it?
The Bada
No,
Bing,
no,
Set and
no,
Dolph.
no, no,
No.
no. The boys. It was over by the airport. Oh man, they had pancakes. It was a go-go place. It wasn't nude. It was in bikinis.
Oh, okay, interesting. But the
Yeah.
Newark
Oh,
Airport. Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
You don't
Damn.
remember the place?
No. Mm-mm.
It was
I don't.
like
Well,
Hooters,
don't
but
remember the name. No. For some
okay.
reason, I can't
Well,
think of it.
anyway,
You would say that place is overrated or no?
I
Or
say it's
underrated?
great. It's
Oh,
underrated.
okay.
It's very good.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, people were going crazy about Waffle House.
Yeah.
The modern day cowboy. I think a new Team Canada could start off in NXT, and we could see it get enough heat that they could put it on Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, but then they got to do something real there and make Canada a state.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
actually there's a girl Carmen Petrovic who's pretty good. She's
Mhm.
Canadian, I believe. That's in NXT, but obviously she's going to have to work her way up to the main.
Yeah.
Matty R, did Dr. Tom ever work on the Canadian territories? I heard that
Uh,
travel could be long between towns.
yeah, no, I never worked the Canadian territories per se. I worked Vancouver and a couple over the border when I was working in Portland, but no, I never worked the territories.
Speaking of Mitch was saying about NXT and working your way up, do you watch NXT at all? Have you seen it at all?
I've seen it occasionally, but I don't have time because I'm not home. Not home on
I
Tuesday
was
nights.
I was just curious what you thought, because obviously Shawn Michaels is in charge of what you thought about how Shawn's got that kind of, I don't know, I guess that train a rolling there in NXT.
Well, I think he's doing a great job, and being Triple H's best friend kind of helps too. I think getting the train rolling because they want that to be successful, and who wouldn't? So I think he's doing a hell of a job.
It is interesting. Usually, when they have guys that are, that are going to be in charge, I know Triple H kind of maybe broke the mold a little bit, but it's not necessarily former ex like world champions. You know what I mean? Like Michaels, former world champions. When they put Matt Bloom there, obviously he's not a former WWE world champion. You know what I mean? It's a different.
Right.
It's kind of like a little bit different to have Michaels there and be a former champion in that role.
Well, yeah, it is, but at the same time, Sean has passion and he's dedicated, and that's a 24/7 job. And I think the circumstances being what they are, with Triple H controlling everything on the other side, then it just kind of makes things flow smoother.
Do you think
They
it's
both.
Triple H's creative too in NXT, or do you think it's Michaels?
Well, I'm sure it's Sean's. Uh, I don't know what. I'm sure Triple H looks over it, but I would believe it'd be Shawn Michaels doing the final thing in NXT.
Going back to the woman getting hit in the head, BX Big Dogs, like in at a baseball game, you got to pay attention, not get hit in the head with a foul ball. Same thing at a wrestling event, you got to pay attention.
Well, I agree there. You do have to pay attention, but you have to you have to watch for flying objects obviously today.
Pad Thai, yes, try some Pad Thai noodles. You may like it. Yes,
Oh,
that's what I've had before. Pad Thai food is actually very good.
hi, pad Thai noodles, very good.
Yes. Um, as far as where was I going here? North Frank Nordquist. Becky Lynch will appear in a new series called Star Trek Fleet. I am looking forward to seeing it.
Good for her. I'm glad she's got a lot of success that's come her way too.
Yeah, it's funny. People were kind of like hinting that she wasn't really doing much, and then all of a sudden she's in Star Trek. So not doing much. She's probably filming the show, so she's probably really busy.
Yeah, sure she is.
Drew Wilson, I love this podcast. First time commenter, long time watcher. Thank you, Drew Wilson. Nice. Look at
Thank you, Drew
Drew.
Wilson.
All right, dude. Thank you, Drew.
What does that mean when they have $5 by their name?
He's putting $5 in into our show. Look at that. All right. Nice. Thank you,
Tremendous.
Drew. Yeah, nice.
Drew. Yeah.
The Crusher used to walk to the ring with a keg of beer on his shoulder. Glad he didn't toss it in the crowd. Imagine that.
Imagine that. Imagine if the keg was still full. If it was when he got there, but it was half empty or even 90% empty by the time he got to the ring for the main event.
Just going back to this for a second with Becky Lynch, because I saw something with Seth Rollins. She was actually in a Marvel movie and it ended up getting cut. Her scene got cut. So she's been filming other stuff too. And I guess maybe unbeknownst to people or people might not even realize it. And if it got cut, obviously she still filmed it. She was still there. So I just realized, yeah, she's been out there filming a lot of stuff.
Good for her. Yeah, she can find another way to parlay off WWE. That's great.
Seth Rollins got his part cut out of the new Captain America movie, by the way.
Why
So
is
he was
that?
supposed to be in it, and his part got cut. They went with another actor because they ended up changing the script. They put it into another actor, and that actor became a main villain in the movie. So
Oh, okay. Well, then that could have been Seth, but it just wound up another guy.
yeah, Giancarlo Esposito, I think is his name, but I know he's obviously Moff Gideon in Mandalorian. He's an awesome actor. He was in Breaking Bad. He was in Better Call Saul. He's an awesome actor. He got replaced by, and Sidewinder is the character. But it's just one of those things where these people are busy outside of wrestling. Even if we don't see them, they are busy and filming and doing
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. That's
It's pretty
good.
big time, Star Trek. I don't know
Yeah,
about Star Trek Fleet, but Star Trek, pretty big time.
yeah. If you like that stuff, you're right.
Yep. Jason, I was watching some old Houston wrestling, 70s or so, and I saw what looked like to be your brother at ringside taking pictures. Was that likely Bruce?
No, that would have been either me. Um, well, late 70s. No, Bruce was announcing late 70s. I started working in '79, so Bruce would be sitting by Paul Bosch at that time.
Was that you? Maybe then.
But it was you can see me. I'm in some of those matches sitting with Paul Bosch at ringside too. It's either Pete Burkholz, Bruce, or myself.
When did you start taking pictures at the matches?
71, 72. I was 12 years old.
Wow. Okay. So,
Yeah. Got published by Jim Melby, Norm Keicher. You remember them?
yeah, of course.
Sure. Wrestling News. Uh, Gong Magazine with Koichi Yashizawa. You remember Koichi?
No, but I know Gong.
Okay, Gong Magazine. Well, he was the big photographer for Gong Magazine and became pen pals. And then I sent pictures back and forth. And Paul let me take pictures at ringside and eventually worked my way up to being his assistant.
Crazy. What a wild ride. I feel like so many wrestling legends, you, Heyman, Cornette, start out in the photography world and work your way up.
It was a way to get in. Yeah, sure was.
From Scorch, Dr. Tom, did you like Shane McMahon dubbing over voices for Kai and Tai in their promos? I thought it was very funny.
I thought it was very funny too. I thought Shane did a great job.
Somebody was trying to say, which is so strange, that the voice was Bruce. I was reading online and people were agreeing that it was Bruce. You could literally just listen to the voice. It's Shane. It's not Bruce. You could
Well,
tell it's Shane.
Bruce has a pretty good accent sometimes.
But this is Shane. I mean, this is nobody's doing the voice. You know what I mean?
Right.
You could tell it's Shane, which is kind of funny, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Kaientai would crack me up. I don't know. They were all great wrestlers, but some of the stuff that they would do obviously was very gimmicky.
Questionable.
Yeah.
Questionable and gimmicky. Yeah.
Remember Tamaguchi-san? Remember him?
Hey, yes.
Yes. He chopped off, remember, a choppy your pee-pee to Val
PP.
Venus?
Yes.
Yes.
Surprised Val's still walking around.
Do you think that was a bit much for a wrestling storyline?
Well, every time I see something I think was a bit much, somebody will find an old clip and show me how ridiculous it was even back then. As far back as the 1940s, they were doing ridiculous stuff in wrestling. Somebody sent me a clip of these guys. It was trampolines on the outside of the ring where they jump on the trampolines. Have you seen that one?
Yes, very cool. I was like, wow, I never knew that they did that.
Yeah,
That seems like it would be nowadays.
yeah. So I mean, nothing can really surprise me anymore except I don't have to like it. But do you know the guy Magic Mike or the guy on the Indies who has a camera? Stop the match, say action, and everybody goes in slow motion.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a bit much. A bit crazy.
Bit much. Yeah. But some people like it.
Yeah, might be pushing it a bit far. But yeah, I saw that the trampoline thing. That was nuts. That guy like flew like 20 feet in the air. That was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And then somebody will send me a spot from 1942 that's just outrageous. So
I was watching an old Thez match. He was pulling off power bombs and kind of working a lot faster than you would kind of think he would be working.
yeah.
Which is interesting because didn't Thez say that he didn't like a lot of the spots Harley Race was doing?
That's right. All the guys before them, they were the real guys. Everybody else is all bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird how that works.
Yeah.
Magazine Retriever. Seth Rollins' scene was cut. There you go. From Captain America, Brave New World. That's a shame. I would have liked to see him in that film. Yeah, that would have been pretty cool to see a wrestler in there.
Yeah. Would have been good.
I saw that movie with my son, and he would have loved it because he's a mark now. He's a big wrestling fan now. He likes Seth Rollins. He would have enjoyed seeing that. It's actually pretty good. I was reading that the movie wasn't going to be good, and I went in with low expectations, but it was actually pretty good. I was pretty entertained.
So it's a movie that's out now, Captain America: Brave New World, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. It's too bad.
And I saw the guy Anthony Mackie who plays Captain America. He's the new Captain America. He randomly showed up at Disney Springs when the opening night for the movie, and people were like, not realizing it was him walking with, the shield, if you will, but they actually sell a popcorn in the middle of the shield. Pretty expensive, and he was walking down. He goes, "Hey, everybody!" And the place popped huge. Said, "Oh my God, Captain America is here!" Thought that was really cool. I was like, "Wow, how random is that?" Imagine you're at the movies and the actual star of the movie shows up.
Well, that'd be nice.
Yeah, pretty cool. Here we go. Dr. Skipper. Will Crush go into the Hall of Fame with Axe and Smash? What are your thoughts?
Oh, he would have to. Yeah, they would have to put Crush in there too.
Did you see Demolition has signed Legends deal?
Yeah, I did hear that.
About time, right? Jeez.
Yeah. Well, things have changed.
Feel like that's got to be Hall of Fame, right? This year, you would think, hopefully?
We would hope.
Got to be.
Yeah.
Have to.
Yeah, never know.
Michelle McCool, by the way, is in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if we mentioned that last week. She's in the Hall of Fame now. Her and Triple H.
Her and Triple H. Who else do you think's going to go in?
I would think Demolition, right? That's what I think. It's weird because they always do one headliner, right? They do one woman. They usually do like a manager type, I feel like, and then a tag team, and then kind of like an old school legend. I don't know. It's weird the way they broke it up. They used to do the Warrior Award, which they haven't done in a bit.
Oh, the Warrior
But
War's not being done anymore.
I don't remember last year. I don't think they did it.
Oh,
Do you like
well,
Michelle McCool?
do I like Michelle McCool?
Yeah.
Sure, sure,
Hall of Fame worthy, you think?
of course.
Nice.
Excuse
So
me.
some people were complaining about it, but she's in.
Can't please everybody. Not gonna please everybody.
Phil, happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, Phil.
Uh-oh. This could be controversial here from Matty R. Let's hear your answer. Dr. Tom, what are your thoughts on Road Dogg Jesse James getting promoted to the co-head writer of SmackDown?
Good for him. He's a smart guy, and I hope he's happy doing that because I think his other job was live events, right?
It was, yeah.
So maybe he got just a little bit tired of doing that, and then put it back on the creative side. I hope he does well.
Do you remember when he was head of creative for SmackDown a couple years ago? Probably maybe 8 years ago or so. Do you remember that?
Sure, I remember like it was 8 years ago.
Uh, no, because I remember people were complaining. Oh, he's not that he didn't do that good then. Blah blah blah. Well, guess what? He wasn't really the head writer. Vince was.
Right.
So if you know what I mean. So it's like, can you really give him grief for stuff that obviously was Vince?
Well, no. Let's see what he can
AJ
do with this one.
AJ Styles kind of ripped Vince a little bit because he goes, he's like, don't give this guy grief. He wasn't the guy writing it. Somebody ahead, in charge of him was changing all of his ideas.
Yeah. Well, that happens.
Nothing against Vince here, but I don't know. His creative juices seem to run out years ago, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I don't know how they do it anyway, but it takes people like that, like a Road Dog and Triple
Yeah.
H and somebody like that, to really keep it going or fresh and listen to new ideas and let them grow.
Cabrio Properties. What about Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman versus CM Punk with Jim Cornette and Jim sings Punk's theme for Mania? What do you think about that?
Well, it'd be great if Jim would leave the house, but yeah, that's an interesting matchup, no doubt about it. But I don't think you can get Jim to leave the house even from Mania.
I actually forgot that I wanted to ask you this. This is very important. I always hear Cornette, obviously, listen to his show, great show. He always does like little singing routines, little songs, and sometimes people put songs together. What do you think about his singing and his voice?
Bill Cornette,
Yeah.
he's greatest ever, greatest singer and manager ever. Fantastic. Yeah,
I just think his voice is like is great for parody songs, you know?
I don't know what to tell you. I think he's tremendous.
The Jungle Boy song I heard, that was great. So Craig has a question. Tom, fluffing your hair seem to be like a gimmick for you. Were you ever booked in a loser gets his head shaved match?
I was, but I never lost my hair.
Where did you get that like movement from? Was that just natural or was that like a gimmick you were doing? Like what was going on there?
Well, it's just something to do with the hair. I had the hair, and why not do something with it?
Is that all legitimate hair? I mean, is this just genetics? How come you had the great hair?
Because I got great hair.
So genet
All you guys without great genetics, you're just jealous.
Yep.
Y'all jelly.
Yep.
Don't have the hair, so yeah, I had great hair. Still got great hair.
Hey, look at Ibsen. Hello, Ibsen.
What's Ibsen doing?
I don't know. What is Ibsen doing? Barbara says Dusty Rhodes told the story where him and Terry Funk in a cage match threw a flaming branding iron out into the crowd and it lit a fan on fire. Do you remember hearing or seeing this?
I do. I do remember hearing and seeing that actually.
What happened? Sounds a little dangerous.
It was dangerous, and Terry and Dusty were dangerous. They just got carried away, and it's through. It wasn't like the flaming branding iron. I think it was the towel that was on the branding iron. It got thrown in the crowd, and somebody got lit on fire.
Speaking of lit on fire, Zippo says, I remember seeing Tom at the Olympic show when I was a kid and getting his arm lit on fire by Ox Baker and the Enforcer. Do you remember this?
I don't remember that, but you know the difference between a hippo and a zippo?
No.
One's heavy and the other one's a little lighter.
Nice.
All right.
Do you remember wrestling Ox Baker?
Oh, I remember wrestling Ox Baker. I don't remember getting my arm lit on fire, though.
Oh, he does. He remembers it from the Olympic show, possibly the Olympic auditorium.
Well, it possibly was.
Better super kick, because we were talking about Shawn Michaels before. Shawn Michaels or Gentleman Chris Adams?
I'll have to go with Shawn. Shawn threw
So,
another super kick.
so interesting with you and Michaels because I didn't even realize this. I remember you guys wrestled in WWF, right? You guys had that match on Superstars. You obviously were in the 95 Royal Rumble together, but I didn't realize you guys wrestled all the way back in Mid-South.
Oh,
Do you remember that?
I do.
Is that the first time you ever met HB Shizzle, 1985?
Yes, that was the first time.
Who won that match?
I think I won that match. He was just starting out.
Did you think he was any good at that point?
Thought he was great.
Did you think he was going to become like a future star, or just hey, this guy's a good hand?
No, I mean, you knew he had potential. You never knew with anybody you met. You knew that if they had potential, yeah, but you never know the unseen factors that can happen. And,
When you when you see him, though, do you think he's going to be not like a main eventer, but you're like, oh, he's going to be something, you know?
yeah, well, you knew he was going to be good, but he was just starting out too, and I'd been in the business maybe 5 years at that time. So, but you knew he had potential. You knew he had good size, looked good, and could be something.
When you wrestled him in '95, did you think he was the best wrestler in the world?
No, I don't know if I thought he was the best wrestler in the world, but he's a hell of a performer, hell of a worker.
You're more of a Brett guy, I know that for sure.
How do you know all these things?
Just guessing, because you got to be. You got to
Well,
be
then
more.
you said you knew, and then you told me you're just guessing.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
You know what assuming does. You know that.
Yes. Frank Nordquist is back. He says, when a guy taking the jackhammer conveniently grabs his opponent's tights to assist with the move, it kills the suspension of disbelief. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'd have to know who you're talking about though, because I mean I haven't seen. You talking about when Goldberg does, or who does the jackhammer?
Goldberg, yep.
Yeah, and no, I don't know if holding the tights kills the suspension of disbelief. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if that does it or not.
I don't think Goldberg really needs any assistance either getting
Yeah,
the guys up because I've seen him get the giant up and the giant wasn't helping him at all. You know what I mean? I've seen him,
yeah,
you know, throw around Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner's what, 260, 260? I mean, he's he could just throw guys around
yeah,
at will if he wanted to.
yeah. So I don't see anything that would suspend my disbelief.
There are some times when the guys do suplexes, you could tell there's a little bit of a dance there. There's too much cooperation sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes I agree.
I know you took pictures at Houston Wrestling. Did you ever take pictures at the Sportatorium?
I did not.
Jason, by the way, the pictures he's saying it's possibly early 70s Houston.
Maybe.
Mitch throws out there, indeed, the great
Yes.
Kayentide line there.
Yes.
Cabrio, did you prefer not to ride with Jake Roberts since he said he liked to smoke crack up and down the road? So, what about Jake the Snake Roberts? Did you not like to ride with him?
No, I enjoyed riding with Jake. We didn't have to smoke crack going up and down the road, but I made a couple trips with Jake. Made a trip with Jake and Grizz one night, coming back from might have been Baton Rouge or from New Orleans to Baton Rouge, wherever it was. No, I take that back. It was a longer trip because that's why we were riding with Grizz. Grizz was sleeping in the back and Jake and me were in front. But I don't know. I guess some guys prefer not to ride with Jake, but I never had any problems with Jake and didn't smoke crack with Jake.
Did he smoke crack up and down the road? Is that false statement there?
I have no idea. If he says he did, I'd have only the opportunity to believe him or not. So
Drew wants to know, Dr. Tom, I've been watching a lot of WWE Vault lately. Did you ever appear or do a skit on any Coliseum videos back in the day?
yeah, I think so. I think I did the one with Eugene and Regal doing the training video over at Tracks. Also did the one where we're training David Flair for Undertaker. And Undertaker breaks in and beats the hell out of Flair. A couple of them. I don't remember all we did.
Just watching an Undertaker clip talking about that, and Vince was surprised that Undertaker wanted to wrestle Flair at Mania.
Hmm. Yeah.
I was kind of surprised. I don't like Vince almost seems like a little bit out of touch. Sometimes like Undertaker's like it's Ric Flair, he's the greatest wrestler ever. Yeah, I want to wrestle him. It's like what is Vince talking about? It's like you
Right.
want to wrestle Flair, really?
Right.
Weird, very like weird. The way some of the stuff you hear from Vince is like out of this world.
Well, yeah, he's been kind of isolated for a long time, so you almost expect it.
Look at this celebrity here, Sloth Bernstein. Don't you know me? I'm Scott Bernstein.
Oh, okay, Scott.
Just so everyone knows, it's me, Scott Bernstein, the actor from the 1980s classic The Goonies. Wow.
Well, how can I not know that? Once again, I don't think I ever saw the Goonies.
Whoa. Oh my great movie. Great
I'm
movie.
sorry, I was probably in a town that night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you definitely were.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like people 40s, my age or whatever, like kind of grew up on that movie, watching as a
Hmm.
kid, renting it and stuff. So yeah, Goonies is great.
Well, that's Sloth,
Yes, there he is. Thank you,
Scott.
Sloth. Great movie. He does throw in this little nugget, which I don't know if he's trying to be funny here, but he says Lee Cole is a Vaseline applier. Obviously, part of
Oh,
the Ring Boy scandal back in the day. Lee
okay.
Cole. I think he's no longer with us, so
Yeah.
probably could skip over that one. From Phil, saw the Michinoku Pro guys at ECW show in Webster, Mass. In the late 1996 era. They were great live. Yes, the Michinoku Pro guys.
Yeah. Yeah, they were good.
Ibsen wants to know when's the first time you ever met HBK. Was it Mid South?
Yeah, it's on.
Caprio, great memory of Hacksaw and Harley pummeling the piss out of each other at the Slam. Not
At the
really sure.
slam.
At the Slam, not
Okay.
sure. And he's saying Duggan got hit with a fish, but I could see
Oh,
Duggan in race being awesome.
yeah, I can too.
Uh, a favor for Taker. He's talking about the Ric Flair match.
Yeah,
Is that true?
I don't know. Only they know.
We all know Dr. Tom deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Huge miscarriage of justice.
Well, I don't know about a huge miscarriage of justice, Barbara, but we'll see what happens down the road.
From Scorch, I wonder how the pants stayed on the Red Hulk. They were ordinary pants, not the elastic kind worn by the Green Hulk. Wow, that's a good point. That is true. If you think about that, when he turns into the Red Hulk, how do the pants stay on? Right?
When who turns into the Red Hulk?
The president, if you will, Harrison Ford. He turns into the Red Hulk in the Captain America movie.
Oh, okay. Well, how do you know they're ordinary pants? How do you know they're not stretch jeans or something?
Yeah, that is true. Scorch's just going to have to do some research on that. But I was
Yeah.
thinking that when the movie, I was like, it's like, oh, how does he all of a sudden have clothes? And then when he goes back into normal form, he still has the clothes. It's interesting to kind of
Hmm.
wrap your
Yeah,
head
they
around
couldn't
that.
have two pairs. Could two pairs? Yeah, that wouldn't work.
Remember that he is Sloth. He is Bernstein, the actor from the 1980s class of the Goonies. So he is cementing that. He is. He's saying
Tremendous.
definitely. He's throwing out there, Dr. Tom, we need some sunny stories.
We need some sunny days. I don't have any really good sunny stories that I can share anymore. So, I've come to this point in my life where I'm trying to stay positive and don't want to bring up the bad. And I think she's going to be doing how long? 17 years?
Yeah, tried to get the
17.
shortened sentence, didn't turn out well.
No, in 17 years, I can only imagine. I mean, I know how the last 25 years have been. And I often think, I wonder if I could have done that time in a prison cell or a prison where all you have to for sunshine is an hour a day or activity an hour a day. The rest of the time you're in your cell. I don't even know if it's working like that these days anymore. But I can't imagine. I can't imagine 5 years, much less 17. I mean, that's a long time.
Crazy. What a
Yeah.
shame. Magazine Retriever. Dr. Tom, the Shaker Heights spike performed by the Beverly Brothers hurt a lot of guys. Do you let your students use that maneuver?
I really don't know what that move is. I don't know how it goes. How
Crazy.
they do?
So the one Beverly brother, Bo, puts him in, or Blake. I'm trying to remember which one does which, but he swings the guy into the rope, and then he almost picks him up for a back body drop. But instead of the guy flipping over, the other Beverly brother will grab him by the head before he can flip as he's going in the air and just spike his head right in the ground.
Mm,
It's at, there's one that they do to a guy. They threw him too high, and his head he turned basically straight up and down, and they just spiked him directly on top of his head. I was like, holy crap! It looks vicious,
yeah, I'm
especially
sure it
to
was.
enhancement guys. Man, I
Yeah.
wouldn't let your students do that if you ever thought about it.
Don't worry, I don't think I will.
Do you think that it's okay to hurt the enhancement guys? Do you think it's okay?
No, no, no. That doesn't prove anything. They're out there to put you over. Should take care of them the same way.
Remember Dynamite with McFoley? Whew, broke his jaw.
Yeah, yeah. Different day, different era.
That is a great name for a move, the Shaker Heights Spike too, by the Beverly Brothers,
Hmm.
who were a great team. I love the Beverlys.
Yeah, they were a good team.
Dr. Tom, much better hair than Bruce, by the way, according to Barbara, and Jimmy Jam Garvin. Wow.
I agree.
Wow.
Yeah.
Zippo says Freddie Blassie was the greatest singer ever in wrestling.
Well, there's a possibility of that. Road Dogg sang "Can't Wait to Be Alone with My Baby Tonight."
Yeah, that is true. Not Jeff Jarrett. It was the
That's
roadie
true.
there. What about
Yeah.
Michael Hayes though? Michael Hayes, pretty good voice.
In the land of the free. Yeah. I'll never forget when he sang the national anthem. It was great. In
I'll
the
never
land. Yes.
I'll never
That's great.
forget at SummerSlam '98 before the show, he sung "Highway to Hell" by AC/DC, and he was going in the crowd singing it. He
I'm
was
on
pretty
the
good.
highway to hell. Yeah, that's Michael.
Pretty damn
Yeah.
good.
Awesome.
Again, got to put this. I am the actor from the 1980s classic, The Goonies. So he's saying it because he says I got no respect, Rodney Dangerfield style.
Oh, we're respecting the sloth.
Was Sonny throwing it back like a proper lady or a wild alley cat? Wow, he's really not happy.
He wants to know. Well, let's just put it like this: nothing. There was nothing you could do to satisfy Sonny.
Oh, jeez. Barbara wants to know, Ming did a super kick on the Big Show. He was the giant at WCW. He hit him right in the face, got his leg up about 7 feet.
No doubt.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Brendan, I really enjoy Braun Breaker, and what I think is missing is maybe a mouthpiece. I think Heyman is a perfect thoughts or perfect fit for him. What are your thoughts, Dr. Tom?
I don't know if Heyman would be the guy, but yeah, Braun. He'll either learn how to talk real well, which he's green, but he has a. I think he'll come around with the interviews and promos and things like that. I just don't think it's Heyman because you don't want to spread him too thin right now. I think he's pretty much exclusive uh, to the bloodline in that angle. I could be wrong, but I think Braun Breaker will come around with promos and stuff.
I just realized this too, and so did Drew. Thank you, Drew. He's saying the Slammies. Just talking about Duggan and Harley Race beating each other up at the Slammies.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
He was also saying that Sloth loves Dr. Tom, which is definitely true.
Mm.
Hey, you guys, Sloth. That's one of the famous quotes
Mitch.
from the Goonies. Hey, you guys.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, so he's giving Sloth some respect. He's saying he's getting the respect. Mitch is giving him some respect.
Very nice.
Jeff, any memories of wrestling in Johnson City, Tennessee?
Johnson City has a I want to say Coliseum they're redoing right now, but it was always a good city for us. Continental Wrestling went there a few times, and it always did good.
Smoky Mountain go there a lot or not? Not
I,
really.
I think Smoky Mountain went there a couple times, yeah. So did Continental.
Ibsen wants to know if HBK arrived at your school right now, what would you want him to teach your students?
Anything, just you could talk to him. That would be learning. Everybody has experiences, and no two are the same. No two guys broke into business the same way. Anything Shawn has to say would be a great learning tool.
I heard they changed the name from New World Order to Brave New World as far as the new Captain America movie. I heard that too. Originally, it was going to be called New World Order. I'm pretty sure that's owned, though, and copyrighted by WWE at this point.
Yeah, maybe
Or
so. I haven't heard
somebody
that,
else
but
owns New World Order. Yeah.
yeah,
Interesting.
sounds about right.
Barbara said Tammy Lynn was such a beautiful girl. It's really sad she's had so many substance abuse problems.
Yeah, she had a sad life. She really did.
Man, I saw, looking at some video somebody posted her interviewing Vader from 96 ish. Man, she was unbelievable back then. It's crazy to see what she looks like now to what she looked like then. Like, wow, she might have been one of the prettiest girls on the planet in the 90s. And then she
Uh,
went to.
yeah, but once you talk to her for 5 minutes, that and no matter how good looking she was, all that mean, nasty, vile came out, and she was ugly.
Gotcha. Random question. Dr. Tom and Mayor Kane decided to have a training school together. Who approached who with the idea?
Mayor Kane asked me if how I felt about opening a school here, since we were both here in Knoxville, and the rest is history.
And obviously, Mayor Kane knows you had some pretty good experience training some of the biggest names ever in the history of the business.
Mm-hmm.
Rock, Kurt Angle, Mark Henry, the Brackus. I mean, some pretty good guys.
Well, when Glenn was working on Kane, he came to the studio too and worked on it while we
So
were
he
there.
knows. He knows
Yeah,
firsthand too.
yeah.
ICP, they know. Tiger Ali Singh, he knows. Jason is saying, when I see Red Hulk, all I think is the scene from Cheech and Chong next movie, Help Me, Wompa, followed by red painted body by Jake crashing through a wall. Have you seen Cheech and Chong, the next move? Next
I
movie.
don't know if I saw the next movie, Help Me Wampa. I think I have seen it. Yeah. But it's been a while.
Sloth is saying, thanks for being such good sports, guys. I was just joking around, but I do like the show. Damn, I really took that away.
Outstanding.
I love it.
Oh, that's
Well,
sloth. No, that's sloth.
yeah. British prisoners get more outside time than British children. Sunshine necessary for the health.
I agree.
Ragu Overlord. Look at this little factoid. I love these. Shawn Michaels shares the same birthday as David Von Erich, the Yellow Rose.
Well, that's interesting.
The Yellow Rose of Texas.
Yeah.
Craig says, has a promotion ever held a show in a prison? I remember seeing Hard Rock Green in a boxing match from prison on ABC Wild World of Sports.
Yeah, there have been promotions gone into jails and prisons and performed for the inmates they're at.
Jason, by the way, says, Sloth, I'm digging the gimmick. He loves
Yeah.
Sloth. By the way, let's not forget that Sherry Martell also sang Shawn Michaels' theme song. So she's got to be up there for good voice and a good singer.
Yeah.
Kind of weird, though. Michaels sung the song, and I think everybody remembers his theme song from him singing it, but not a great voice, you know?
Well, he didn't have to have a great voice.
VKM singing Stand Back. What pipes? Yeah, that is true.
Yep.
Was there a way to save the Shockmaster gimmick after he fell through the wall?
No, I don't think there was any way to say that. I really don't. I think that was a better thing to happen to him because people remember that much more than I think they ever would. Shockmaster.
Dell has a really good question here, and I know you'll know the answer to this. Dr. Tom, did the classic NWA World Heavyweight Championship belt actually weigh 10, the 10 pounds of gold, or was it just a figure of speech?
I think when they made it, it did weigh 10 pounds of gold. They wanted to make sure it was heavy and different than the other one they made. The other one, the one that it retired, the Dory belt, or they called it the O'Connor belt, and then the Dory belt, and the Briscoe belt was what they have now.
That belt was really cool looking.
Which one?
The Dory one.
Yeah, the Dory belt. You got the book about it, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Zippo.
I didn't know they had Zippo. Here we go.
I thought Dirty White Girl was hotter than Tammy. Wow, really? Damn.
Each his
I don't
own.
know. I'd have to go Sunny in her prime for sure.
Mm.
Agreed. The most beautiful girl in the world who has a narcissistic personality disorder isn't worth a second look, says Phil.
Very true. Very true. Yeah.
Did Austin Idol keep the money after he cashed the check he won?
Yes, he did.
He told me he definitely did.
Yeah.
I remember. I asked him. But Dr. Tom, before we wrap this up and head towards Black, I'm just curious, will you watch LFG on A&E, the Legends of Future Great show? Will you watch it? It's almost like Tough Enough Volume 2.
I'll have to tape it because it's on Vice, right?
No, it's on A&E.
Oh, it's on A&E. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
have to tape it. I'll have to just record it.
Oh, so you will watch it. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was pretty good. I kind of liked it.
Good.
All right, let's wrap this bad boy up and head towards the plugs. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at 2Man Power Tree. Follow Dr. Tom at Dr. Tom Prichard. Please tell us, Dr. Tom, where you can get your wrestling book and how do we can get an autographed copy?
You can go to jpwrestlingacademy.com, click on the training tab at the top of the page, go to the book, order the book, then email me at jpwrestlingacademy@gmail.com. Just put attention Dr. Tom and tell me you want an autographed copy and we'll get one to you.
Thank you to Matty R. Thank you to Dell Mountain. Thank you to Sloth. Thank you, Barbara. She wants you in the Hall of Fame, by the way.
I know she does.
Zippo, Jason, and of course, the modern day cowboy himself, Mitch Miller. Thank you, everybody out there, for listening. See you right back here next week for a little Take You to School with Dr. Tom Prichard. We'll see you next week, folks.